Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adult Chair. I am Michelle Chalfant. Well, today I'm talking to you all about how we stop imploding. You know, when we're like so overwhelmed with stress and those racing thoughts and anxiety and all the things that happen, we just go into this imploding feeling and we just can't get out. Today, I'm going to help you get out of it. I've got 10 steps to get you out, 10 things you can do in order to get out of the racing thoughts. When we just feel like the ship is going down, I'm going to help get you out. So that's what we're talking about today. But first, you can find out more about the show at theadultchair.com. You can subscribe for free by signing up for our mailing list, and you can join the conversation on Facebook or Instagram, and make sure to request to join the Adult Chair private closed group on Facebook to learn more about how you can then live in your own adult chair. And again, join a group of like-minded people that are incredible in this group. It's a fabulous group. As you know, I love it. So a little order of business I just want to discuss or share. Don't forget, October 12th through 14th, I will be in San Diego teaching an adult chair weekend intensive. I am so excited. I've got the whole itinerary and all the information at theadultchair.com/workshops. Go check it out. You'll learn exactly what we do every part of the weekend, and it's an amazing weekend. So I hope you guys can all come join me. Let's talk about imploding. So again, I want to thank everybody in that Adult Chair closed group because I had asked for some podcast ideas. We just did our planning just the other day, and I got some great ideas that you all want to hear, and I've written them down and you will be hearing more about them. But this was one of the hot topics, and it just so happened to come up throughout the course of my week with my clients. So today I'm talking with you about what do we do when we feel like we're imploding or collapsing, when we are stuck in those racing thoughts, anxiety, panic attacks, love addiction, the codependency, when we feel like we want to fix people? How do we stop doing these things? I've had some clients this week that have come in, and this just, again, totally inspired me to talk about this today. But I had one girl that came in and she just said, you know, I feel like I'm going crazy. My mind won't stop. It's telling me all kinds of things. I think I might be losing my mind. And I said, okay. I went through all these things that we did. And by the end, she walked out a different person. So I'm going to give you exactly the same things I gave to her. And another client, really in their codependency and the love addict thing, they really wanted to reach out to this new person that they were dating, and she was doing a fabulous job. And I want to talk to you more about what we do when we feel that urge. I don't care if it's codependency, love addiction, all of these things. What do we do when we feel that urge to reach out? That, again, when the brain starts racing and it's telling us to do things, and we know from our adult, it's not in our highest good to do it, but when we're in that adolescent, we can't stop ourselves. So what can we do? I've got 10 steps for you all. Let's, for starters, review one thing that I know I've talked about before, but it might have been really early on in the show. And that is, make sure that we are clean and clear in our own energy field. And the girl that had come in this week and shared with me that she just felt like she was losing it. She had racing thoughts, and these thoughts were telling her not so nice things about herself, and she was really in a low place. And I said, okay. And where she works with a lot of men, and she's a very attractive girl. And she gets hit on, even though she's married, she's not doing anything wrong, but this just happens where she works. I'm not even sure that these are all your thoughts and your beliefs and your emotions. So I want you to understand something. If you are alive and breathing, which if you're listening to this, you are, you have a human energy field. It's called an aura. This human energy field is where our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and ideas exist. They're within us. They're in this field all around us. And what happens is when we are with people at work, in the grocery store, at the mall, I don't care where you are, if you're with other people, especially if you're an empath, okay? You have the ability to then take on other people's thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. So if I'm in a grocery store and I'm standing next to somebody that is in a terrible mood, and maybe someone died that morning, or they are in grief, or whatever's going on with them, our energy fields take on, and I call it taking an emotional dump in our energy field. So what happens is then I leave the grocery store. I have not even talked to that person that's standing behind me or next to me. And that person's energy, their thoughts, beliefs, or emotions are now in my energy field. So I may leave that store feeling tired, cranky, in grief, and I don't even know why I'm in grief, okay? So that happens to us. And I shared this early on in the podcasts. I had a friend many years ago. We'd gone to Starbucks and we had a lovely time. We were laughing. I was in a great mood. She was in a great mood, and they were getting ready to leave. She gave me a hug. I thought everything was fine, and my energy was high. Everything was fine. I got in the car and I was exhausted. I could not barely drive home. I can still see myself. My eyelids were like closing. Like I said, oh my gosh, I can barely drive home. I don't know what happened because I was in a great mood. I'm not having any negative thoughts. This makes no sense to me that I'm suddenly in the car and I'm driving home and I can barely drive. So I get home. I said, I got to climb into bed. I think it was only like 11 in the morning. And I said, I can't believe what's going on. I'm going to have to get in bed. This is crazy. But I remember I had a new puppy. So I said, I got to take this damn puppy outside. I'm so tired. It was the last thing I wanted to do. But I did. And I'm standing in my backyard with my puppy and my trees. And I said, I just don't think this is my energy. Something's not right. Something's not right. So I started stomping around my backyard, giving my neighbors a little show. And I was just stomped around for maybe a minute. And I was taking my hands and brushing myself off as if I had dust all over me. Brush, brush, brush. And I was stomping around and I said, any energy that's not mine, leave now, drop into the earth. Mother Earth, take it. It's not mine. And I sort of shook and stomped around again, maybe a minute. My little puppy peed. I picked her up, walked inside, and I said, oh my God, I am completely fine. In fact, I'm re-energized. What the heck was that? So I ended up calling my friend. She did not answer. She called me 2 hours later. And then I said, what happened? I said, did you have an emotion at the very end of our time together? And she said, yeah, actually I did. She said, I was hoping to see this guy. And I didn't know this because she didn't share it with me. She says, I was hoping to see this guy that they had like kind of connected. She really wanted to date him. And she said, he's always at Starbucks in the morning and I didn't see him that day. And I got so sad when we were leaving. She said, she says, I was so sad. I had to come home and take a nap. She says, I just really, really, really would like to meet and date this guy. Unbeknownst to me, this had happened. And I said, oh my God, I had picked up on your sadness and I didn't even know it. So, but the great news is I created this thing, which I call the Indian stomp, because literally I stomped around, shook myself off and cleared myself of her energy that, again, I didn't even know it was on me until in that moment. So it was a phenomenal experience because I use it all the time now. So the first thing I did with my client that said to me, and she looked terrible, I'm not going to lie. And she just said, I've had the worst month. All of these things are going wrong. Work is not going great. I really feel like I'm losing it. I don't know what to do. And the way she was talking, I said, I thought to myself, I don't think this is all our energy. So the first thing, if you feel like you're imploding, if you feel like your brain will not stop racing, in fact, that's a huge indicator for me when my mind starts racing, number one. And secondly, when I start having like weird anger or fatigue, and sometimes I start swearing. And when I start swearing all the time, I'll say to myself, I think I need to clear off. I need to clean myself off. So notice when you suddenly have a shift in your emotional state, you could have someone else's energy on you. So the first thing that I'd recommend is to do the Indian stomp. You can do it inside. I prefer to do it outside, but if it's raining and freezing cold, do it on the inside. I don't care. But stomp your feet around, shake your energy field off, brush yourself off, let any energy that's not yours fall away into the ground. So this is what I did with this client this week. And she did that right away. And at the end, after just 1 minute of doing this, she said, "Oh my God, I feel a little bit better. That's so weird." And she says, "I feel lighter." I said, "Great." And she said, "But I think I might be going crazy." I said, "Okay, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's go to the next thing." So when we're stuck in these thoughts, and she had a lot of these thoughts because she said, when I was in high school, I used to do some drugs and I'm worried that I hurt my brain and I don't know. So then when I start having negative thoughts, I'm not so sure. Maybe I am going. And I said, "Okay, that's fine. So your belief is that you think you might be going crazy." She says, "Yeah, I'm losing my mind." I said, "Okay." And she is, I think, in her 30s. She's in her early 30s. So that's the very first thing. Make sure that you're only in your own energy field. So the second thing that we want to do, so then I had her sit down. I said, "Okay, sit down." And this is what I did with many, many people this whole week. I said, sit down, especially with a racing brain, people that are anxious, and a lot of people are having these panic attacks this week with me. So I said, "Okay, we got to bring it down a little bit." So we want to slow down. When we're in panic attack mode and we're in anxious mode, it means we're sitting in that adolescent chair. The unconscious mind is just looping and feeding us thought. And oftentimes with panic attacks, we don't even know what we're thinking. It's in the unconscious mind, but it's still looping. So we want to get in the body so we can realize what the heck we're thinking, what we're feeling, what emotions are in there. We cannot do that when we're moving so fast. The adolescent chair energy moves really, really fast. So we need to slow everything down, which scares the crap out of the adolescent because it's trying to fix what's going on with us. But that's exactly what we need to do. So this is what I offered next for my clients. I said, so sit down, get on my couch, and let's get your feet on the ground. So even if you have the racing thought, I still want the feet on the ground because we want to start to ground, and which means the energy is going from chin up in the mind and the brain's doing the looping, and we want to bring it chin down, come down. We want to bring that energy down. So number 1, Indian stomp. Number 2, put your feet on the ground. Now I know when we're in that looping state and panic attack mode and, oh my God, I want to reach out to my boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever, when we're in that love addict phase, it's hard to then stop what you're doing and do this beautiful grounding meditation. So I'm not asking you to do that yet, but I am inviting you to put your feet on the ground. Then third thing you want to do is we want to, again, slow everything down. So I ask people to do the belly breath, okay? Do the belly breath. That video is on, I believe it's on my YouTube channel or it's on my website. So go do that belly breath. The belly breath is when we inhale and the belly comes out on the inhale, and then exhale and the belly comes in, not the chest. When we are breathing from our chest, it activates that sympathetic nervous system. We typically are breathing when we're in that much fear. We're breathing slow, shallow. We're not taking deep breaths. So what we want to do is bring the energy down into the belly and slowly. And what I suggest my clients to do is to take 4 counts breathing on the inhale. So the belly's coming out, hold it for 4. And then bring it in for 4, and then hold it for 4, and then inhale again for 4. So you're doing this breath for just like a minute or 2. Again, unanimously, my clients say, oh my gosh, and this just happened this week. I have lots of great feedback on this. They go, oh my God, everything's slowing down. My legs are tingling. I'm feeling something in the bottom of my feet. I'm like, great. Indian stomp might take a minute. Putting feet on the ground takes seconds. Belly breath takes another minute. So we're at 2 minutes. This does not take long. I don't like to take a long time to bring myself back into the present moment and just getting everything to slow down. So the third thing that I suggest is to step into the moment with mindfulness. Okay? Step into the moment with mindfulness. So as my clients are all coming down this week, I'd have them look around my room and I'd say, okay, what do you see in my room? And they'd go, well, you got a lot of stuff in here. I'm like, let's be even more specific. And I have a plant in the corner of my room. And I said, okay, what do you see over there in the corner? They're like, oh, it's a plant. Okay. What do the leaves look like? Well, they're green and they've got actually a couple different colors, right? Okay. And what else do you see? Oh, there's a white flower coming out. It's actually a peace lily in the corner of my office. Okay. And tell me more about what you see. How open is that white flower coming out of the peace lily? Okay. And what kind of vase is it or what kind of pot is it in? I have them describe the pot and then I go, okay, what else do you see? Oh, there's a picture. Okay. What do you see in that picture? How many colors? What specifically? And I have them get as specific as possible. What's happening is we're moving into the adult chair, because I'm bringing them into that present moment using mindfulness. Then I ask them, okay, so tell me what it feels like on my couch. What do you notice about the couch? Like, oh, well, my back is really supported. I like how mushy it is. Okay. What else? Do you feel like taking your shoes off? No, I'm going to take my shoes off. Okay, take your shoes off. Put your feet on the floor. What's that feel like? Is the couch supporting you? Are you fully letting yourself go? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Let me let go a little bit more. Great. How's the temperature? What does your back feel like compared to your arms? The one girl had a short sleeve shirt on. She goes, I didn't even notice, but my arms are slightly chilled, but my back feels warm. Oh, wow. What else? What do you smell in the room? I usually have a diffuser on with essential oils. Oh, I smell a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Oh, great. Okay. And again, she reported, this one client said, I feel so much slower. And I said, exactly. She says, everything's slowing way down. I said, perfect. That again took maybe a minute, 2 minutes maybe. That might have taken 2 minutes because I brought her through all the senses. What do you see? I said, what do you hear? And I have a noise machine outside of my room. Oh, I hear the river. Is it an ocean? I'm like, yeah, let's listen a little bit harder. So all of these things bring us right into the moment, slowing us down so we can start sliding into the adult chair. Okay. So now that she's in this very mindful place, I go back to the grounding and I said, okay, now what do you feel with your feet? What do you feel? Oh, I said, let's tune into the bottom of our feet. So now I really, really want to activate that grounding. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll say, let's invite the bottom of your feet, the vortexes to open and let's see what happens now. I feel tingling. I feel warm. I feel cool. I feel nothing. I feel whatever. Now they're even more grounded. So again, we're bringing the energy down from chin up. We're going chin down. Okay, so we're going to call this number 5. This is where the true grounding takes place, okay? Even more so because we're opening up those feet. Not that we're not grounded, because that mindfulness takes us very much into the body. Now we're just doing a deeper level of grounding versus just having the feet on the floor. So number 6, this is one that sometimes I use, sometimes I don't use. I love this. It's the head hold. So you want to take one whole hand, your palm, and just place it across your forehead. And then you take the other hand and the palm and you place it across that ridge in the back of your head, the occipital ridge. This hits the neurovascular points on the forehead and helps, first of all, the blood flow to move to the other part of the brain, out of that amygdala where we just start to relax even more. And I have them close their eyes and just breathe, okay? Very powerful. You can do this with your kids, anybody. It just helps people calm down even more, all right? The head hold, you can do it with yourself. You can do it to another person. It doesn't matter. But again, I have people close their eyes and have their hands on their forehead and on the back of that occipital ridge and just close your eyes and breathe for about a minute. This really brings more relaxation into the body and the brain. This is powerful. Number 7, now that they're more moved into the adult chair, I ask them, now that they're in this really relaxed state, and sometimes I'll have them keep their hands on their forehead and on the occipital ridge, and I'll say, okay, so now I'm going to use this one client that I had this past week, and she said, I think I'm going crazy, I'm losing it, I said, okay, so now that you're in this new state, can you tell me what's fact and truth? Has anything changed from when you walked in? And she says, yes, it did. I feel totally different. I said, well, what do you know? And she says, oh my gosh. And mind you, it's been about 5 or 10 minutes at the most that it took us that long to change the state, which is nothing. She's been living in this other state for a couple months. So she said, I really feel different. And I said, okay. So how do you feel? Like, what's true now? And she says, I'm still worried about some things, but I think I'm okay. She says, I don't think I'm going crazy. And I don't think this and I don't think that. I said, okay, good. And I said, well, is there anything? Well, I want to stop here because there's a number 8 that I sometimes do add in. And I did add in this last week with clients. She'd come in and said, I hate my job and I don't know how to work with this company and da, 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 da. She's so upset. And I had taken her through a very similar thing that I just shared with you all. And I said, okay. And so at this point in time, she says, well, I think I still hate my job and my codependency gets the best of me in my job and blah, blah, blah. So she still had a couple of those that were fact and truth, which actually are still stories, but sometimes that adolescent won't let go. So I said, okay, this is when we want to observe our thoughts. Okay. And we hear this all the time, observe your thoughts, detach from thoughts, et cetera, et cetera. But I find that it's really hard for us to do that. And people go, oh, I think I understand. So what I did with her is I said, okay, how does it make you feel to say my codependency gets the best of me every day? And she says, well, it feels heavy. I don't like how it feels, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, okay. I said, now take my codependency gets the best of me. And I'm tired every day. And now paint it on my wall over here. Just paint those words on the wall. She said, okay. I said, okay, now read them out loud or to yourself. I don't care. And she did. And she said, oh. I said, now how does it feel? She goes, well, I don't feel it in me anymore. I feel it like it's outside of me. I said, exactly. There you go. And I said, now look at the words that are painted so beautifully on the wall. Take out all the spaces and make them all just a bunch of letters. And she did. And she said, well, now that's weird. She says, it's just a bunch of letters. I said, yeah, with no meaning, right? She says, yeah. I said, well, there's your thought. And she started laughing. And she said, oh my gosh. She said, I don't have any emotion around that anymore. And I said, yes, yes, yes. That's so true. So I said, okay, so are there any lingering emotions that you need to step into? She said, no, not even one. I said, fabulous. Now, I said, this is actually, number 9 would be feel any emotions if they're there. Number 10, and you can kind of flip 9 and 10 around. Now I said to her, okay, and I said this to everybody. This is typical of what I would ask somebody. Now that you're in this brand new state, what is your new truth on what's going on in your life? Tell me your new truth. And this client with the codependency said, I actually think I might like my job after all. And I can see it. We talked about seeing it through new eyes or new lens and a new perspective, using that. And she liked that. I said, okay, so now you went from hating your job and wanting to quit. So now you actually like your job. And she said, yeah, it's so weird. And I said, good. And I said to the other client, another one that had come in that felt like she was going crazy. I said, so tell me what else is true. And let's find some new truths. And she said, well, it's true. I did some drugs in high school. Yes. I said, what else? And she said, but I think I'm okay now. And then I offered to her, I said, what I believe is true is that we change every 7 years. Our blood, our bone, our thought, everything about the whole physical body changes, and the body's always striving to heal itself. So, and she hasn't done drugs since high school. I said, if you haven't done any drugs since high school, my guess is that your brain is recovering, and I don't know what's true. I said, but let's pick the thought that feels best. I said, my guess is that your brain is probably recovering and has recovered and is actually pretty healthy. I said, does that feel good to you or bad, or how do you take that? And she said, I love that truth. I said, well, take it. And I said, so give me your new truth. And she said, my brain is actually okay. And I said, good. And she goes, in fact, it's healthy. I said, excellent. Excellent. So that's the last piece, is we want to then adopt the new truth. What's the new truth? And again, if there's anything still lingering in the body, and if someone were to say like, I still have a little bit of sadness, it feels like, I'll say, okay, now let's feel it. But we're feeling one emotion at a time versus all of these emotions coming in at once, and we're imploding and we're collapsing all over the place and we can't think straight, and the ruminating thoughts And a couple of people that came in have panic attacks and were in major, major anxiety when they walked in the door. They left balanced, peaceful, and just so calm. And these things that I just offered you guys, 10 of them, they do not take long. That's what I love. They do not take long, but we have to practice them. But every single client that came in, when they left, they said, yeah, I'm just going to keep practicing. And I give this as homework to different people. And I'll say, okay, so for you, what did you like best? I like that mindfulness thing you did with the plant. Okay, then I want you to practice that every day. So in order to stay out of imploding, we really want to learn these things. But again, that energy field, clearing the energy field is so important. Especially the empaths of the world. I mean, I know we just take on energy and we don't mean to. So it's important that we stay really grounded so we don't do that, and that we stay mindful of, is this mine or is this yours or is it someone else's? Pick your favorite one or pick your favorite 2 or 3 and start practicing them, or pick all 10. It doesn't matter to me, but start practicing them every day. I check in with myself about my breath and I'll ask myself, am I breathing? Hold on. What's going on? I'm a little stressed about this. Let me just check in and put my hand on my belly, right below my belly button. And I take a few deep breaths. I go, okay, good. I'm back on track. That Indian stomp, I do it every day. I do it every single day. I step outside. I'm with my dogs. I just stand there and stomp around. I shake my hands off. I'm brushing my body off. There's no reason not to do that every day. I don't want anyone else's energy on me. I just want mine. And that has helped me to stay so much cleaner than I ever did in the past. That's that, everybody. I hope you enjoyed these 10 ways to get you out of imploding. We all do this. So this imploding, when that mind gets going, it starts feeding us those stories and assumptions, and that adolescent gets scared, and it just keeps going faster, 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 faster. And then all of our stuff can kick in, like the anxiety, panic attacks, all of these things, the love addict thing, the codependency. We want to reach out and fix somebody. We want to reach out. We want to reach out. We want to reach out. And the brain loops and we cannot get out of it. This helps to stop the looping. This does. But again, pick out 1 or 2 or 3 or all that you can do on a daily basis. This will help to reset not only your mind, but remember, we're working with the body too. I hope you enjoyed this one. I want to share with you today that this podcast, remember, is sponsored by Audible. And you can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/theadultchair. So today, I really like this book. It's called Don't Feed the Monkey Mind: How to Stop the Cycle of Anxiety, Fear, and Worry. It's by Jennifer Shannon. I really, really like that. It has some really great CBT ideas on how to stop feeding the cycle of anxiety, fear, and worry. So it's called Don't Feed the Monkey Mind by Jennifer Shannon. And remember, for listeners of The Adult Chair, you can get a free audiobook download of your choice with a 30-day free trial to give you the opportunity to check out this service. You can go with this book, or if you find a different one, go for it. It's free for 30 days. So that link again is www.audibletrial.com/theadultchair. Hope you enjoyed 10 ways to get out of imploding. And do not forget, everybody, come visit me in San Diego, Friday, October 12th. Actually, it's later on Friday night. We're going to start through Sunday, October 14th. You can go to theadultchair.com/workshops for more information. And again, I have the itinerary posted there, so go check it out. Fabulous weekend. That's all I've got for you today. I am Michelle Shelfa, and I will see you right here next week, seated firmly in the adult chair. Have a beautiful week, everybody.